Dodgers wins Sunday at the Ravine, 7-4, behind another stellar effort from a rookie starting pitcher. We also got some great news on Clayton Kershaw. Woo-hoo. We'll talk about September call-ups, talk all about the last week, talk about the week upcoming, all this week on Dodgers Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Oh, yes.
Different types who wear
Had to come
raincoat,
into this.
pants with stripes,
You know,
or
lost one of the
cutaway
great ones
coat,
this week,
perfect
Gene Wilder. Rest in peace. Man. Wow. I was a personal fan of his, as well as everybody who likes to laugh, I'm sure was as well.
Tough loss.
Oh, tough one. I mean, this is like Young Frankenstein, one of his best.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think for me, it's probably a three-way tie between Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, and Stir Crazy.
That's
No,
pretty.
no Charlie Chocolate Factory.
That's not a Gene Wilder movie.
Yeah, that was just a good movie.
I still love the original producers to this day that he wrote with Mel Brooks.
I didn't know that. Huh?
Yeah, he wrote the original producers with Mel Brooks. Love that movie. Love Young Frankenstein. So good. I annoy my wife with it late at night because it's been on a lot.
You're about to see it a lot more too. So.
Welcome, Dodger fans, to another edition of Dodgers Wrap 360 alongside Hunter Marks and Joshua Gershon. I am Mike Conley. Thanks for joining us for our weekly rudderless discussion of all things Dodgers. How about that, Dodgers team? It's funny listening to Skip's post-game press conference today. It sounded very similar. You know, it was like, oh, for a young guy, he came up, showed a lot of composure. You know, the situation didn't faze him. You know, I really like what I saw out there today. And you have heard that this year so many times in talking about rookie pitches, whether it be, Julio Urias, whether it be today's starter, Jose De Leon, and whether it be Ross Stripling or Brock Stewart. You know, it's just happened so much. That's why this season is just starting to shape up as possibly a very special one for Dodger fans and the Dodgers themselves.
And it's Vinny's last, so you really hope that they do pull it together this year.
That's right. That's right. Vinny weekend coming up in a couple weekends.
Yeah. And quickly, I just want to point out that KTLA will air the last few Vinny games.
Last 6, I believe.
Last 6 Vinny
Too
games.
little, too late, but we're glad we're doing
But
it.
at least it's something for non-Time Warner people.
I know.
You'd actually be able to listen to Vin call games.
Yes.
So
The voice of God.
Oof. And Joe Buck is on record as saying earlier this year that he would step aside from the World Series if Vin wanted to take it.
Ooh.
But Vin is, to this point, I'm good.
I'm not sure
But
that he would do that.
I think he wants to make his last game a Dodgers game,
Yeah.
but
if the Dodgers are there,
right,
yes.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, let him in there until as far as the Dodgers go.
He's such
you
a
know?
stand-up guy that I don't think he'd want to take that from someone else's announcer taking for their team. But I think we can all speak for everybody when we say I'd love to see that. So.
But Joe Buck, since his dad was a legendary announcer in his own right,
Absolutely.
Joe Buck's the kind of guy who would be like, "Please, you need to do this."
Right.
Yes.
It's a classy move by Joe Buck,
Yeah.
a guy that I enjoy hating on too. So it's kind of a bit of a catch-22 for me.
Go crazy, folks.
Oh man. If people wanted to hit us up during the program or during the week, if they're listening to this later, where can they hit you up on the social media, guys?
Hit me up on Twitter, Hunter_Marks, or on Instagram, The Huntsman.
I am on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Gersh GERSH13 on both.
We've been doing the show for a bit, and we're still not Instagram friends. And I've been hearing you say this for the last 4 or 5 weeks. So.
I know, and we really should be by now.
Let's change that. Let's change that. You guys should both have at least one person following you. Really. That's how you say it, right? Following. That's how the kids say it.
That's what the kids are doing these days. Yeah.
All right.
Tweet Mike when he gets to Twitter.
Right. We're getting there.
Well, tweet Mike
Slowly
Conley,
but
the point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I like that.
He's got a big contract. Hit him up for some ducats. Anyways, Jose De Leon, just another long line of rookie pitches doing business for the Dodgers this year. Today, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, gave up the 4 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. I'll tell you what, that line doesn't give it justice. I mean, he pitched better than that. I don't want to say he was flawless, but I mean, 9 Ks and no walks.
Yeah.
And really, it was that one bad pitch to was it
Solarte,
Solarte?
the
yeah.
third inning, just took it for a ride, but he was looking great until then, and just comfortable and poised,
Yeah.
and just well done.
I mean, he struck out the side in the 6th. I mean, and he showed you every pitch.
Yeah.
The fact that he did it in the 6th inning, where he seemed to really find a groove.
Yeah.
I mean, only 86 pitches. You got to wonder, they probably could have rolled him out there for that 7th with 86 pitches. You know,
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I mean, we've been kind of clamoring for this guy all season, and definitely thought,
especially Hunter and I have been. Why is he not up yet?
right? Because I mean, he just had a birthday. I think he's 24,
Yeah.
right? Early August. Oh, he's wearing 8/7 for his birthday.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
saw
August
that.
7th.
That's cool.
So I'm sure he'd die to have a number under 50, but he'll get there someday. But I mean, just incredible composure, and you know, he's got filthy stuff. He's like 95, but the fact that he is 24, we all thought that he was going to be up, you know, before
sooner.
Urias, really.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, where Urias has just turned 20, you know, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I haven't heard much of like keeping him on an innings limit. You hear all about it about Urias.
No, well, being 24, I don't think he would be on the same kind of innings limit that Urias would be on.
You just think his like shoulder and arm are fully developed.
He's just a
and
little more
that's the
seasoned
situation?
as well. like,
Yeah.
in the minors, so he's pitched more innings, been around a little bit longer, he's been around the game a little bit more. So
But you look at he only pitched 114 innings in minor league ball last year. So I mean, like, where can he get to? 160? I mean, I know he's 24, but you still want to protect him. And I think today's outing puts him over 90 for this season. So I guess, yeah, if he can go to 160, you probably don't have to keep an eye on him.
Yeah,
There's
we'll
only
see.
a month left.
And you know, come playoffs, he's allowed to be on the playoff roster, right? Did they call him up in time or no?
Yeah, I think
They did,
September
because
1,
Puig
right?
technically cannot be, I believe,
Oh, really?
because they didn't call him up till Friday.
are we sure on that?
I'm almost positive about that.
Wow,
yeah.
that's purposeful.
Yeah.
Wow. And like I didn't read an article, but I came across it. I don't know if it was on Dodgers.com. It's like, why are the Dodgers treating Puig like an ex? And
I saw that.
Yeah.
I think I saw that article.
I didn't read the article. I'll have to go back and read it, but it was pretty accurate. I mean, they are treating him like that. And like somebody, I don't know if his agent or his manager or whatever, has gotten in the ear of this kid, because down when he was raking down in Oklahoma City, he was also saying all the right things in every type of media appearance he had. So
Well, this is a very humbling. Him going down is very humbling for him because he had a taste of the big leagues. He was loving the limelight, and to be sent down like this, you know, I think he finally realized. I think you're right. I think his agent finally did speak to him, and I know Andrew Friedman went down to visit him, just to kind of check on the kid, see how he's doing. And by all accounts, except for that one Snapchat incident, you know, he seemed to do what we were all hoping was mature a little bit. Because we all know he had the tools, but the idea was he learned how to behave like a baseball player. So
yeah, and when Jose De Leon came out of the game today, he went over and like the first person he really embraced was Puig. So that was good.
He smacked that nice home run today.
Oh, yeah.
Got a
Huge.
Hey, that's also, they beat a lefty today. The Dodgers are the worst team against left-handed pitch.
Which is, and I know we kind of lambaste them all the time, and the numbers kind of point at how horrible they are at hitting left-handers. But that being said, versus left-handers for today's win, they're like 17 and 19. That's, I mean, I was expecting, when you look at all the numbers, their batting average versus them, like up and down the lineup, I was expecting that to be like 6 and 30, you know, or something outlandish, like not within a whiff of 5 games of 500.
Well, do you see Friday night? He was a lefty pitcher. They had 10 hits. They just didn't score.
Right.
It's not like they don't really hit them. It's just they don't score off them.
Right.
They don't get the timely hitting off lefties, it seems.
Yeah.
do you think it's a mental thing since they are hitting the guys and they are kind of putting the ball in play, just the runs aren't coming in, like
It could be.
kind of like a domino effect? If one guy's not doing it, then they're all just not doing it.
Well, I think I think you're right, because to me, if against a lefty, Turner has to set the tone against a lefty, right?
Right.
So he's your big righty in the lineup. He's got to set the tone. So I feel like if he has an off game, they have an off game against that lefty. Feel like they can't. Like today, he had a couple hits. So I think he had a couple. I think he had drew a walk today too. So it seems to me like he's kind of the engine that goes when it comes to lefties. Like you said, though, it could be a domino effect. He doesn't get it done. No one's getting it done.
No one's getting it done.
A guy I'm kind of having a tough time figure out, versus the lefties, because coming into this season he was a world beater, hitting like 360 versus him, and this year he's hitting under 200. Kike Hernandez, and why didn't this guy get an extended stay down in Oklahoma City to kind of get his stuff?
He's someone who really could have used it too.
Yeah,
Someone
that's
who's
what I'm
really
saying.
he's had trouble for most of the year, and I would have liked to have seen him. I still love him on the team. I love the energy that he brings because he's such a young, happy-go-lucky guy. You always see him joking around in the dugout, and you want that emphasis and that feeling. But of all the people, I think you're right. He really needs some seasoning down there, and because he's looking at losing his spot right now. There's a lot of guys hitting. A lot of guys playing well.
The AAA season's almost just about over.
Yeah.
So
Isn't who's pitching in the playoff game? Casimir. Casimir's going to pitch in the AAA playoff game.
really?
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be because Casimir, he's kind of on the mend. We got Brett Anderson who has
Blister.
Setback today, blister. Yeah.
Oh, really? What's with the blisters? Oh my word! I mean, that's kind of a
Honeycut? No,
crazy, man. Yeah, you got to stop, having pickle juice and some brine and stuff yeah, that's it, man. Soak them in there, toughen them up. That kind of gives us a little transition into blister man number one, Rich Hill, who was worth the
fire.
wait.
Yeah.
Worth the wait.
12 innings. 7 hits total so far in 12 innings. No runs. 1 walk, I think.
Filthy.
We
Yeah.
were talking about him at the deadline, God, we really want to get this guy, and hopefully he can be the one that that missing piece, and he has turned out to be exactly that.
Yes.
And more. Just wonderful, wonderful blessing in disguise.
And with the good news of Kershaw starting next Friday, or this coming Friday against the Marlins, all of a sudden you have Kershaw and Rich Hill going right now. That's a solid 1-2. That's not a team you want to face in the playoffs.
No, it's not.
And Kenta Maeda doing what he does.
Yeah.
What is he at? 14 wins now? 15 wins, Maeda? I think he's creeping on 14 wins.
He is 13-8.
13 and 8. Okay, creeping on 14.
The he'll go tomorrow. We'll get to next week in a little bit. But yeah, he's been great. And this is something I kind of offered up early in the season. You guys laughed at me, but I'm gonna offer it
still
up
love you.
again. I'm gonna offer it up again. Kenta Maeda, okay? Is it? I mean, do you keep him on that every 5-day schedule? Because he's looked good when they've given him that extra day of rest. And in Japan, he was used to pitching once every week. If we get in a situation where we have these guys coming back, like the McCarthys and the Casimirs of the world, can we afford to put this guy, on a situation where he pitches once every 7 days, and then just kind of fill in everybody else? Where you're trying to keep Urias's innings down and potentially De Leon's, maybe that could be good for something like that. And also I'm just looking at the fact that, we don't want to burn out this asset. We got this guy on a very team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
8 years, $25 million. It would be silly to we want this guy to get to 200 innings, to get your money out of him. Getting your money out of him is about 100 innings, So if you relegate him to 170 innings and, just put him on that once every 7-day thing and you're giving him 3.3 a year, I mean, plus incentives and all that stuff, but hey, I don't know, maybe elongating him out, he doesn't hit as many of those incentives. You can do some, park improvements at the Ravine. I don't know.
Well, the way the Dodger arms have been going down, I don't know if we can do that just yet. I remember when you first brought that up the first time, and yes, I admit I was one who shot you down because I was worried about him pitching all your 5 games and going to 7. That would disrupt his rhythm. But now with the emergence of De Leon, I'm worth revisiting and something to actually consider. So.
Yeah, I agree with Hunter. I mean, if Kershaw is back, and all of a sudden you got Kershaw back, you got Rich Hill back, you got Casimir coming back.
God. That's a lineup.
But all of a sudden now you might be able to stretch Maeda out a little bit.
Yeah.
Do that once a week, and because when he does get the extra rest, he is on. He looks great.
Especially for September, where we can inflate the roster. It seems like the smart way to do it because when you get in the playoffs, so the Dodgers there, hello, knock wood, they because due to the TV schedule, it's so longed out anyway. So he's going to probably be getting that rest anyhow. So if they use a 4-man rotation, if a 3, maybe not so much. But so today's win, coupled with the Giants blowing a lead in the 9th inning and losing in extras, gives the Dodgers a 3-game lead in the West.
Huge.
Good to see.
Thank you, Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, right. Speaking of the Chicago Cubs, we kind of talked on last week's program about after they beat the Cubs in a series and after they beat who was the other good team they played last week, and the Giants in a series. Yeah, of course. That there could be a little letdown going into Colorado. And a letdown there was.
Yes.
In the first 2 games of that series, they were 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position and left 18 men on base.
In Colorado.
In Colorado.
The most hitter-friendly park in the majors.
Insane.
The air helps it sail an extra 20 feet.
That being said, the 3rd game of that series, the second one of that doubleheader, kind of made up for it and almost made you feel like they won the series with the fashion in which they won that game.
Oh, yeah.
After that first game, I was telling Josh this, I was like, easily forgettable. And the second game was not far from that until the 8th inning when Andrew Toles comes up. I think you and I were texting, and he just blasts one. Absolutely
Crazy.
blasts one. He's making Yasiel Puig's job harder and harder to get back.
Well, I'd like to see maybe Toles a little bit in center. It seems like he hasn't played much in center. Is that true? Or like when Jock plays, they throw him out there? It doesn't seem like he does.
No,
I see like
they
Kike.
throw Kike out there.
Yeah.
And, with Toles' speed, it just seems like he would be a natural fit for center. And where he's absolutely raking, I mean, what's he hitting, 370 or something?
He's hitting 397.
How many home runs?
Wow,
Like
no
3 or
way,
4 home runs.
397?
3 homers. He's hitting 397, 3 homers. He's got a 463 on base percentage and a 690 slugging right now.
Wow.
His speed was what we were talking about earlier, what really set him apart and what I thought would really be the X factor for us. I did not see this power surge coming. I didn't really know anything about him. I don't think any of us did, except for Andrew Friedman, who really did a great job re-signing him. So.
I mean, he's doing so well right now, and he's so hot. He's got to be in there on a daily basis. He's platoon-proof right now.
You have to play the hot hand,
You know?
which he is.
You
Yeah.
do.
Well, then the other day, Reddick finally he goes 3 for 4.
Finally.
And it's a home run.
Yeah.
He finally shows some life.
Well, it's kind of funny because, we're talking about maybe Puig coming up, so he can perform and, help this team. But maybe it's just, his hot breath on the back of Josh Reddick's neck that kind of, is going to improve the ball club this year, because it's like once he shows up, Reddick starts raking. He got his first RBI this week in a Dodgers uniform, and now it's starting to hit a little bit.
This is what you want to see. You want to see the guys putting pressure on each other to perform. So this is perfect. It's great.
And it's nice that they really seem to have stepped up without Kershaw, because it seemed like every year they always relied on Kershaw. So by the playoffs, he didn't have the same stuff because he just carried the team the whole time for the whole season. Now this is why I'm excited, and you brought this up.
Yeah.
That if he's back and he has not pitched in 2 months, and all of a sudden he's back, that come playoff time he might be Kershaw.
Yeah.
That we might see Kershaw in the playoffs.
It's going to be in like June form.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come playoff time. Oh, that'd be great to see.
Cue the Alicia Keys music. On fire.
I just got a little goosebumps. That's kind of crazy. Was some drama early this week with Puig, with the whole waiver scenario. I know you texted me at one time saying you read an article that it was the Red Sox.
Well, we found out it was the
Brewers, yeah.
And that they did talk about a Ryan Braun deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure that to me, I'm guessing that neither side could really. Dodgers are overvaluing Puig, and they're trying to say, hey, we're going to take Braun's contract off your hands. We're not going to give up much more than that.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They're going to take the best deal available, obviously. And we mentioned this last week. Why negotiate now when you can just negotiate with 29 other teams in the offseason? That really, unless they just get a spectacular offer, which doesn't seem to really have come yet.
Right.
Which because they haven't done anything, then I would think it's best just to hold on to him for now.
Yeah.
Especially since the other guys are stepping up.
Right.
Tolles and all those guys. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's very petty of the Dodgers. If Puig is not available to work in the postseason.
I'm almost sure that's true. I have to double check. But
Man,
A lot
if
of
we, had,
arrogance
if,
on the
we, if
Dodgers.
we had working internet in the studio, I would say, give it a try. Maybe we can get an answer by the end of the program. Oh,
I kind of like that the front office is being a little dickish about this. Excuse my language, but if I was the other teams, I'd be like, oh, those assholes. But, but I kind of like that they're like playing this game right now because they can. So they're in a position to.
but I mean, it's not like they have 3 studs on lockdown in their outfield going into the playoffs. It would be very short-sighted if they would hamstring themselves by not having this, wild beast potentially available for playing in the postseason.
Well, that's the aura. That's the aura that they're dangling. Look what you can get with him if you give us a deal. You don't know what you're gonna get. Good Puig, bad Puig. They're really. I agree. They're really milking this right now with him. So
It's just, are they playing it right? It sure doesn't seem right.
Although he's looked okay. So
that's such a
He
huge
has
home
looked
run
good.
today.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he had 2 hits the other day, although he probably only had 1 hit.
You know, was a really kind of switching gears real quick. X factor for that game for me today was the push bunt by Adrian Gonzalez today. Did you see that? What we talked about last week of how the guys how all year teams have been pulling the shift on him, and he finally was like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Just lay down a beauty push bunt and beat it out. Love it.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking on that very play that if there's any guy that actually has speed,
It's Adrian.
that they run the shift on and could bunt, I'm thinking a slap bunt that could get past,
oh yeah.
that the shortstop couldn't field. That could be 2.
Well, think about it. You could not shift Ichiro.
Right.
Because he would do that.
Too fast.
He would slap that thing down there, and boom, he's easily.
By the time I
on
looked
front.
up, he's on second.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that with, you'd think that with all the shifting, that the hitting would catch up and go, you know what, I'm going to teach a lefty to do that, to slap bunt this into, so that you can't shift me anymore.
That's we're gonna get to that point.
We have to.
How quickly we get there is just the stubbornness of baseball. And we
Yeah.
all know it can be stubborn, but it's going to get to that point.
Well, you know that there's talks now about trying to not be able to shift, right? That there's
I'm not a big fan of that.
there's preliminary talks about
Of
them.
the shift or talks of not putting a rule in place not to
Yeah,
shift.
but not rules in place.
Yeah, there
yeah,
is.
yeah.
There is talks of
terrible.
it, but there are, and that's going on now. It's like it's like the
Baseball
NBA.
strategy.
The NBA's talking about eliminating the hacka, the hacka shack.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're making $12 million a year. You can learn to make a free throw.
Yeah.
Which like if you're making $20 million a year playing baseball, you can learn to put the ball into left field as a lefty.
I don't like. I mean, at a 4-point line, I'm for that.
Yeah.
But don't do these things where, oh, this play is not good enough, so we're gonna make. That's silly. It's like these guys are professionals. If they're playing them one way, it's like you got to find out. Okay, I don't like them playing me that way because it takes a bunch of hits with them. So I'm just gonna dunk them to death until they play it straight.
They could never shift Tony Gwynn.
Right.
Tony Gwynn would hit it into left field all
Wherever
day,
he wanted.
all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we're mentioning a bunch of spray hitters here who they wouldn't dream
But
of.
someone like Bryce Harper should be able to do it. Adrian Gonzalez should be. I mean, these guys are well, Harper's not, but Adrian Gonzalez, a lifetime 290 hitter. He should be able to slap it into left field. You know?
And he's a guy. He's not going to hit 30 homers, but he's a guy who routinely hits in the 20s.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a big bopper. Maybe he thinks it's kind of beneath him, but so it was encouraging to see it today, and I hope it continues because in all of baseball.
Oh yeah, because they don't really shift Seager.
Right.
Because Seager does hit into left field, so they don't really shift him too much. So I am waiting for people to just start teaching that pretty much. Just this is what you do.
Why not?
Just slap it down there. Because if you do it a few times, they're going to stop shifting you.
Yeah, and it's like bunting is a lost art, and it's like bring it back.
Well, look, the shift with guys on base lost that Cubs game when Baez went to second instead of throwing to first.
Right.
It was because the shift was on.
Zobrist was deep out.
Yeah. And that's what happens. So you got to make them pay. When they shift you got to make them pay.
Yeah.
It's
true. It's true. Oh, so yeah, Toles' grand slam was like
The hit of the year.
that was definitely the win of the year. I
That
mean,
was a hit of the year.
they're like down 8-2
Yeah.
going into the 8th, and then they win it 10-8. And like he even said it. He's like I thought it was a fly out, and then it just kept carrying. And he's like it got out. I was excited, and he just seems like the nicest dude, and like
well, he was working.
for his road to the majors is so
Everyone
such
loves
a great
good,
story.
Yeah, everyone loves a good story
Yeah.
of this guy. He had some trouble in college. He had some trouble making the team and making to the majors with the Devil Rays. Or the Rays now.
Yeah.
The Rays, excuse me. So, it's really nice to see him and see what he's been able to do as a major leaguer and as an everyday player. Or is he an everyday player? Platooning player. Platooning player. But he's making it harder for Puig and Ethier to make it to the club. So.
Jock had a nice gun out of a guy trying to inexplicably in the ninth inning trying to I mean, that
You're down
dude,
7-4. You need base runners. Why
Dumb
would you try?
baseball
Why would you
play.
try to stretch?
craziness. And I think I could have beat that guy to second base in a race. Sanchez, pretty heavy backstop.
We talked about when the Giants, and knock on wood, hopefully they don't this year, but they used to seem to have a way to win, right? They always found ways to win. Well, now like you've been saying it, you actually are seeing that with the Dodgers. They're finding ways to win games, and the Giants, like today and yesterday, they're finding ways to lose games. So you're hoping that there is that kind of continental shift,
That seriously, that and the way they win in some of these games, that coupled with the Kershaw, being able to, I'm not going to say rest, but rehab and not, put a lot of innings on the shoulder there in this for the last 2 months, coupled with the fact that everybody's on the Cubs nutsack, and so the Dodgers can kind of fly under the radar.
Yeah, can we not forget these are the Cubs?
This could be shaping up as the year. Just saying.
I'm not sold on this Cubs team going all the way. On paper, they look incredible. And they are still the best team in the National League, especially with the win record. But they're the Cubs.
The big chink in the armor for the Cubs is guys that can steal bases. So I'd like to see in this final month the Dodgers start to run a little bit more. They got Tolles, he's fast. Let's run that.
Peterson's
dude.
got good speed
Let's
too,
have
yeah.
Jock run a little bit.
Howie can steal a little bit.
And it's like, I mean, I don't know why we got rid of Davey Lopes ever as a first base coach. one of the best base stealers ever to wear a Dodger uniform. I mean, you need to have, you have access to him and Maury Wills. You keep them.
Yeah,
one of those guys
Mattingly
until they
stole him.
pass.
I mean, Maury Wills was an MVP, who stole bases. And...
Mattingly stole him for his Marlins club. And so, thanks, Don.
Oh, Mattingly. He had a little blow up this week against the umpires. Did you guys see
Yes.
that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you get tossed?
It was more of a post game.
Okay.
He was saying, what happened was they squeezing him or no? It was a play at third or something like that.
I believe it was a play at third. I just saw the aftermath, online.
Yeah, him getting hot.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of faltering a little bit.
Yeah.
But they have a good schedule that shapes up. They play some pretty awful teams coming up. They play a lot versus the Phils and a lot versus the Braves.
Well, and
Braves have been playing
and they
better.
are missing their best player. With Stanton being
Right,
out. So,
true.
Yeah.
What's the latest on him? There's a rumor he could be back for like the last couple weeks.
just as long as he's not back against Kershaw Friday, doesn't matter to me.
Every time I see him,
That's
he
true.
always is good for like 2 or 3, like at least 2 home runs against the Dodgers.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
every team, but boy, team mash. I mean, look at him.
Oof. How excited are we to get Clayton Kershaw back? He of the 11-2 record and the sub 2 ERA.
The 16 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Oh man.
So if the playoffs were here today, we've talked about this snap before, but now with the emergence of De Leon looking really good, what would be our rotation going in for that first series, you think?
Kershaw, Hill, Maeda, question mark.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, we're still that 4 and 5 are still up in there.
I mean,
I think so, but it'd be nice.
well, in the playoffs you don't go to a fifth starter.
yeah.
But it would be
Yeah,
nice
4.
if you take a 2-0 lead with Kershaw and Hill, and it doesn't, regardless of what Maeda does, you might be able to even squeeze that 4th starter in there instead of coming back with Kershaw.
Yeah, because some teams, will just use 3. Yeah, but I do like that. If you do go up 2-0 to kind of have that.
You throw Maeda in there, and Maeda has a great chance to give you a win, so it's not like it's just a wash game.
Yeah.
But, you throw Maeda in there, and if he gets that win, throw out Casimir in that 4th game, see what happens.
Yeah.
Let Kershaw get that rest for that next game, It's going to be tough to beat Kershaw and Hill. 2 lefties like that, back-to-back, that's going to be tough.
I got to tell you what, if they were facing themselves, they'd be really in dire straits. Yeah, I mean, this kid De Leon was so impressive today. He could be in that 4 starter spot over Kershaw. And I think that as these guys get healthy, the Casmirs and the Brandon McCarthy's of the world, that'll kind of solidify that 5-man rotation, potentially even have a 6-ish starter in there if we do that thing with Maeda and able to length them out where he always goes once a week. Then you can look into Urias back in that bullpen role. He's just been such in flux at this point because they haven't been healthy in the rotation.
15 starting pitchers this year.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Most in the league. And then there's the 3 teams behind them that had 14 different starters. Well, horrible. It was like the Reds.
Yeah. Didn't Terrell Cotton pitch this weekend for the A's? I believe.
Versus Red Sox? I don't think
or
so.
I think he's coming up to pitch. I think they did bring him up. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's been tearing up the AAA. So, but I mean, he's a guy that he's still kind of a 2-pitch pitcher. So maybe his long term, will be in the pen unless he can add a third pitch.
Well, I would love to see Urias move to the pen because Liberatore's been struggling since he came off the DL.
He's been carrying a heavy load, and we need to. I agree with that. We need to kind of ease up on the arms there and kind of give him some backup.
And coming down the stretch, we need to start giving Jansen some rest. He can't be pitching 3-4 straight days.
Yeah.
You got to give him some rest.
It's crazy. He had a milestone this week. Getting his 40th save, and today he got his 41st on Sunday here. But so that's back-to-back 40 save seasons. The second Dodger of all time to do that. Obviously, Gagne being the first.
You mean Jeff Shaw didn't do it? When Jeff Shaw was the closer?
Or Todd Warren? Wait a minute.
Jeff Shaw's son plays well.
Yeah.
The Boston Red Sox.
Boston, yeah.
The mayor of Ding Dong City.
What position? I don't even.
He's the third baseman.
Okay.
Plays a little first.
How's he doing?
He's was good first half and then was pretty horrible in the second half, but he's showing a little uptick because much like Reddick feeling the heat of Puig, he's starting to feel the heat of one Yoan Moncada right
Yes.
now. Don't get me started on the Red Sox. So I'm sorry.
I gotta say also about De Leon today, and you notice it. His fastball, was it just me? Did you guys just notice so much movement on it today? It was tailing and hitting corners and
Oh yeah.
I admittedly I'd never seen this kid pitch before. I've always heard about him. We've been following him for a while. We've been tracking him online, and you always heard that fastball and that changeup was 1-2 pitches that were really kind of just outstanding. But his fastball, which is I swear to God, when it just gets a play, it was just curving out every 2 inches. And I was just like, oh man, this guy is
that late movement.
It.
That late movement.
That's exactly it. It was so impressive, and you could just see guys freezing on it or hitting it late. And it was just they were just Will Myers after the game was he was raving to Adrian Gonzalez. It's I told you about this guy in the minors. I guess he got to first base. He was like, this guy's gonna be a stud for you for a long time.
Yeah, he told Adrian Gonzalez that. He's like, this guy's got great stuff.
That's awesome. And so because of that late life, he can almost get by being kind of a 2-pitch pitcher. I think he'll probably add a slide piece or
you just that slider, that curveball you add later in your repertoire.
But I mean, to this point, he's got 2+ pitches, that fastball and that changeup, but definitely
and the confidence on this guy.
But crazy.
Complete night and day from when Urias had his starting day.
But Urias his confidence never wavered in himself.
It's true.
Which is true. Which you saw even as a guy 19 years old. Got battered around there by the Mets.
Every game.
Got battered around by the Cubs. Yet his confidence in himself never seemed to waver. He's just like, no, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And now he's starting to turn it around. And he's been looking really great, his last few starts.
Yeah. I was a little curious how De Leon was going to react when he got down early in the game. And there seemed to be no problem. There was no problem at all. He goes down early. It was 2-0, excuse me. And I was like, all right, how is he? That's when the make of a good pitcher of how they get out of jams. And he just started. He actually almost struck out the side in the first inning, except for that little blooper that fell between Turner and Howie. I think Turner distracted Howie because that was clearly his ball. But for a second there, I thought he was going to strike out the side in the first inning. So he's looking.
I just liked it as the game went on. He seemed to get a little stronger there.
That 6th inning with the striking out the side, that was what impressed me the most today.
Although,
about that.
Granted, I only knew 3 people on the Padres. In the Padres lineup, I knew 3 people.
What a perfect game to go up against for your for your debut. You want to go up against the Padres, a team like that. Definitely not the Rockies because they seem to really hit us. I'm telling you, I'm really worried about these Rockies. I know they're not going to probably make the playoffs, but they are always this team that is just a thorn in the Dodgers' side, and they've just proved it this past week. And I'm just worried about the end of the season where we're really going to fight for that division title. So.
Yep.
We shall see.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So, the other call-ups, who else came up? Austin Bonds,
Yeah.
Avalon.
And Barnes played today.
Yeah, Bonds played today.
He's caught J. Leon before in the
I like
minors.
Bonds. I kind of like Bonds.
Yeah, you've been on the Barnes bandwagon.
Yeah.
What do you like about him? Just his...
Yeah, I think he can be a good hitting catcher, and he's pretty good behind the dish, and he's like kind of versatile. He can play some second base.
Yeah. Outfield, he can play some
A
left
catcher
field.
who can play second base, right?
I mean,
Hey, Craig
Craig Biggio.
Craig Biggio did it.
Yeah.
There you go. So looking ahead to this upcoming week, the Dodgers didn't light the world on fire, but they were able to finish the week with a 500 record.
The ship is steady.
The ship is steady.
Hey, but
3-game lead.
we were expecting a little bit of letdown. It sort of happened.
It's true.
And the fact that we said they just need to be 3-3, and they did it. They even gained a game, on the Giants.
Yeah.
So this week to me was a win, just because we were all afraid that great, they just smashed the Giants and the Cubs, and now they're going to go against the Rockies, and the Padres are just going to lay an egg.
Yeah, and Andrew Tolles is a lot to thank for that, because saving that from not being a sweep was huge, and definitely a game the Dodgers point back into.
I wonder how many day games the Dodgers have left, because they actually have the best record in the majors. They're now 26-12 in day games. There's a little stat for you.
Wow!
coming out my stat book.
Check out the big brain on Brett. Yeah, I mean,
They love playing under the sun, so let's hope for many more day games.
and interesting enough, coming into today's game, Adrian Gonzalez, just to stay on your day theme, most hitters don't like playing in the day.
Right.
And he is leading all major league hitters coming into today's game with 386 average during day games. I trump your stat.
You do, sir. You do.
Maybe they just see the ball better.
It's true. But that's usually not the case in day games. That's why you have to have like the batter's eye and all that stuff. People can't sit in center. Why they have just big speakers at the Ravine.
The worst games got to fit the Ravine to me are the 5 o'clock games, because you get those nasty shadows that come over the field.
Yeah.
And they get that 5 p.m. If they get the game of the week start, that's always the worst one.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers are facing a familiar pitcher in their next game.
They sure are.
It's been his name has been tossed around quite a bit with the Dodgers this past week, Mr. Zach Greinke.
Zach Greinke. It's an interesting matchup because he's going against Kenta, so it's
His
like,
replacement, pretty
much.
It might be his soon-to-be teammate. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
A lot of rumors going around that they did, and I don't think it's rumor. I think they really did. I think it was fact that they did inquire about trading for Greinke. Because
why not? I'm on record. Sorry, why not? He's a steady pitcher. He's not having the best year with the Diamondbacks right now, but that's a tough park, Chase Field. Everyone knows that. And Dodgers Stadium is very much a pitcher's park, and I think his numbers are inflated because he's in Arizona over there.
Yeah.
So,
it's a lot of money to take on.
that's a lot of money to take on. That's the thing. He's 32 years old?
33 now.
33. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday, Zach Greinke. Whenever that was.
So there's 5 years remaining on that contract, and probably
Little under $200 million.
But I gotta think that I would not be opposed to taking him back under the right circumstances, because we get another steady veteran arm who hopefully.
Yeah, well, there was that speculation that were they talking maybe about a waiver trade with him earlier this month?
Yeah, and it was, I think, because let's face it, the Diamondbacks whiffed on so much this past offseason.
Well, the Shelby Miller, Zach Greinke.
Yeah,
on paper, it looks good. In paper, we're not supposed to hit him, but on paper, they look like they were really shoring up that pitching staff. Not to cut you off there, sorry about that. But yeah, they just whiffed. Yeah, they just whiffed.
And I'm sure Dave Stewart and who is it? Dave Stewart and what's the
GM, Dave Stewart, and
what's the manager's name?
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank now.
Chip Hill?
Yes, Chip Hill.
I'm sure, or team president, I forget who that is.
Yeah, who's the team president? Oh, La Russa.
La Russa,
right?
Tony La Russa, yeah. La Russa and Stewart got to be on short leashes now.
They are.
Especially the Shelby Miller deal is going to really come back to bite them hard.
Yes.
I thought that was a good trade. I thought that was a good deal when I first saw it. I was like, all right, steady pitcher from the. It's easy to look back on it now and critique, but
Oh no, I hated that. I hated that trade at the time.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
I said it
much.
on the show. I was like, I did not like that trade from the beginning.
Why not?
Because I think Swanson is the real deal. I think he's a power hitting Jeter, is what I think he's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just selected him less than a year before with the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
And he was destroying the competition in the minors. I mean,
Is he up now?
I don't know. He's only like 20. I don't know if he got called
probably
up,
not.
actually. Yeah.
I think he did. I think he is up now. Yeah, once they, because I mean they opened up a spot for him, get rid of Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
And then they brought in Ibar, but then they traded Ibar in a waiver deal, I believe, to the Tigers.
Yes, I think.
Or
I think
I think somebody was.
No, I think I think it's the Tigers.
Yeah,
Because the Tigers are in the race.
because Iglesias was hurt for them.
Yeah,
and they needed a shortstop.
and they're in the race.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of how much they gave up for him, so on second thought, walking that one back. But I was like, oh, they got
Walking on
Greinke, they
back.
got Shelby Miller. Like they're actually they're still they're a couple pieces away. And I remember there's being this really big Sports Illustrated piece on like the Diamondbacks, how they're back, and that they're going to do this, they're going to be great now, and they're going to be contenders, and they're not.
They did say like that, we're keeping him for 2017, like that old Greinke talk, and like. So that means the trading deadline at least.
Yes.
Till 2017, because they'll be looking to deal him at the deadline next year.
Do you think Zach is just like, please let me go to the Dodgers, just put me back?
He might be.
Put me back.
He made his bed going to a hitter's park.
You took the money.
Hey, that's to me, you can't complain then. If you go somewhere to take the money and your team stinks, that's your problem. Like I same again when Carmelo Anthony took the money to stay in New York. Fine, you should get every dollar you want. Yeah. But when they can't sign anyone because your contract's so massive, sorry that you made your bed. Now you need to lie in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the Dodgers have deep pockets, so I wouldn't go against it. But it just seems like Andrew Freeman, is from, that Tampa Bay system where they did it with such a low budget that I'm thinking it's like he's going to see if he can build the Dodgers for a $170 million payroll, and that will be pretty cheap, for such a big market club. And I think he wants the opportunity to do that. And like he kind of does have that opportunity, because I was giving a little more thought to the bomb you dropped out there last week about the Dodgers not resigning Kersh when he's up. But
but you have to, with this front office, you have to at least consider that is a possibility.
Especially after seeing De Leon today and how good Urias is. It looks like that could be a 1-2 you could have for a long time.
And they are looking to re-sign Rich Hill. I know he's 36, 35, 36, but they are looking to bring him back.
Hopefully to like a 3-year contract or something.
Wow, if he gets a 3-year deal at 36, that's good on him.
Yeah.
If he gets something in that Kazmir range, maybe.
Yeah, 3 for 37 or something like that. Is that what Cashman got? 3 for 36?
I'd be psyched. Yeah, so looking ahead, we got 3 with Arizona at the Ravine, that big Greinke-Maeda matchup coming up. Day off Thursday, and then head on a big old trip.
Yep.
A 10-game trip that'll take us to Miami, to the Bronx to face the Yankees, and then to face these very time Diamondbacks again. So, gotta take 2 out of 3 for this home series with Arizona, and then if you can try and squeak out a floundering Miami team with 2 out of 3. Hello.
Except you
making fish jokes.
You gotta believe that Mattingly, like before when they played him early on, is gonna be, we gotta beat this team.
It's true. It's true.
He's a gamer. Yeah, he's absolutely telling these guys that.
Like Lake Kiffin, he really wanted to hang 60 on USC Saturday.
Oh, you see his Twitter?
Yeah.
Hashtag 3:14 a.m.
It's Mattingly's feeling the same thing. I really want to beat this team.
Oh man, that was the easiest pick of the week. Can't believe I gave up gambling. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be sitting in these very same chairs next week, and they'll be 4-2, or certainly nothing less than 3-3. They got to start, play some good baseball going in here in September, and now that we have the stud back at the front of this rotation, it's going to make it a very exciting September and hopefully a very exciting October.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I did try to go out to the Quakes game, but I forgot that the wife and I had tickets for John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl to get to make, because I really wanted to go out to watch him when it was announced. Of course, tickets sold out right away too when it announced. Unfortunately, every time he goes to AAA or Single A when he plays for the Quakes, those games sell out right away.
Instantaneous, yeah. Yeah, what did he pitch, like 3 innings or something?
3 innings, 5 Ks.
Only threw 30 pitches, 1 hit, no walks.
He's back.
He's a stud. Kid is a stud. Anything you guys want to shout out about before we?
The upcoming game, I want to see the Dodgers attacking Greinke. I want to see a full throttle. I want to see them go at an ex-teammate and just show them what they're about.
Okay. We're gonna sign off here. Anything you wanted to squeeze in?
I gotta give a shout out to my father-in-law. It was his 65th birthday yesterday.
Hey,
Happy birthday.
Give a nice shout out to my father-in-law, Jose Vega.
Uncle Jose. Oh, your father-in-law. Okay, Jose.
I hope you partied hard.
Oh, he
Palm
did.
Springs.
There you go. There you go. All right, gang. Well, that'll do it for another edition of Dodgers Wrap 360 for Joshua Gershon and Hunter Mox. I am Mike Conley. Thanks for tuning in with us, gang. Go
Thanks,
Dodgers.
guys. Go Dodgers.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.